I just feel there's respective weight classes for a reason. You saw Canelo when he moved up to 175 when he fought Bivol. You saw what happened there.
Yeah.
And I just feel Crawford is one of the best fighters ever, and he could fight in any respective weight class. Excuse me, he could fight in any generation in his respective weight class. I feel Canelo's going to be too...
Crawford's sparring partner, Fernando Vargas Jr., stirred the pot by questioning how much skill matters once size takes control. His remarks added fresh tension to the Crawford-Canelo debate, making fans wonder if greatness alone can bridge that gap. Even coach Joel Diaz jumped in with his view, and it shocked many. He said, "Terence Crawford is my favorite fighter of this era. As friends, as business in boxing, Terence Crawford wins, but he wins money." That statement landed like a body shot. Diaz wasn't dismissing Crawford's greatness. He was exposing the brutal truth that against Canelo, the belts would stay put. To him, the only thing Crawford would take home is the payday, not the glory. It was a sobering reminder that sometimes skill can't cover the distance when the challenge is too big. Fans were left torn between loyalty to Crawford's talent and the cold reality Diaz revealed. Even coach Joel Diaz didn't hold back when money entered the discussion. His words cut right to the heart of boxing's business.
Because now, hey, you know what, as my friend that you are, I make you an offer. Would you fight Canelo? I'll give you 40 million. I don't know if it's 40, I don't know if it's 50, 60, but he's not gonna make no less than $10 million. So right there, Crawford's winning, regardless. As a fighter, like, dude, you give me 20 million, I'll fight anybody. I'll fight Anthony Joshua right now. So Terence Crawford has to sell the fight. He has to say, I'll beat Canelo, left and right, whatever, right?
What Diaz explained wasn't about belts or legacy. It was about survival in boxing's economy. He reminded everyone that sometimes the real fight isn't inside the ring but in negotiations. He painted Crawford as the man who could earn big no matter the result. That truth made fans pause and realize, this fight is more about the money than the challenge. It positioned Crawford as the winner in business, even if not in legacy. Then Diaz changed direction, looking at history to highlight the danger of moving up in weight.
We've seen it we've seen it many times. When fighters move up 2 divisions to be the champion, they fail. I mean, I saw it with Mikey Garcia when he fought Earl Spence. I saw it when Demetrius Andrade, a 147-pounder, was avoided for years. He moved to 54, he was avoided. He moved to 160, he fought maybe once or twice. Nobody wanted to fight him, so he moves to 68 and fights Benavidez. What happens? He looked good for the first 3 rounds because he's good. But once that heavy monster is coming at you, he'll destroy you. Terence Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's been my #1 pound for pound for years. But he just moved up from 47 to 54. Now, he's going to go from 54 to 60 to 68. I mean, to fight the moneymaker. We call him the moneymaker because Canelo Alvarez is the fighter of the era. I mean, it's like going back years, a few years ago. Manny Pacquiao, Golden Boy, Oscar de la...
He avoided hypotheticals. Instead, he pointed to names fans know, fighters who looked sharp for a few rounds but were eventually crushed by bigger men. His tone made Crawford's climb appear like a steep mountain with no safety ropes. Diaz's message was simple: no matter how gifted you are, size becomes a weapon, and against Canelo, that weapon could dictate the outcome. Diaz stressed that stepping up here meant walking straight into danger. He even turned the talk toward Canelo's standing in boxing and gave a blunt response.
Who else is out there to fill Canelo's shoes? Nobody. If Canelo loses, boxing goes to shit. I mean, it goes down. I mean, do you want to see, let's say for example, Terence Crawford beats Canelo. Do people want to pay to see a Terence Crawford and Benavidez? Come on. Really? Let's be realistic. Canelo cannot lose. It's business. At the end of the day, Terence Crawford is going to win. He's going to make billions. He walks out with a loss? No problem. Hey, I moved up to try to beat the fighter of the moment.
He made it clear the sport rests on Canelo's shoulders and that a loss would shake boxing's foundation. Diaz argued that even if Crawford pulled off the upset, the business side wouldn't reward it equally. His words painted Canelo not just as a boxer, but as the heartbeat of this era. That perspective left fans with a chilling thought. This isn't just a fight, it's the sport's future hanging in the balance. For Diaz, Canelo's dominance is non-negotiable, and boxing thrives because of it. Diaz then pulled from Canelo's past, using it to prove how harsh moving up too far can be.
They can criticize me and say that I'm wrong, that they're going for Crawford. What happened with when Canelo moved up from 168 to light heavyweight to fight Dimitri Bivol?
It was too much. It was,
okay,
yeah.
But look, Canelo went back and he's still the same. Yeah. He's still the champ.
He got the respect then.
He got the respect because he tried it. But if he would have beat him, man, the world would have changed boxing. All right? But he did it. But he went back to his division and said, you know what? I tried it, but I'm back and I'm still a champ.
He recalled the night Canelo fought a bigger man, showing that even legends hit walls they can't break. But instead of seeing it as failure, Diaz framed it as respect earned for daring to try. That shift made the Crawford-Canelo debate heavier, like history itself was warning in real time, leaving fans with the weight of inevitability. Crawford's gamble, Diaz suggested, would come at a steep cost. Respect may be gained, but victory will not. Diaz circled back once again to what Crawford would truly take from this fight if it happens.
Crawford would not lose anything, even if he loses the fight to Canelo Alvarez. Because going back, hey, that's not my division. I'll go back to 54 and I'll still be the king. Mm-hmm. That's business. He's gonna walk away with the loss. He's not gonna get knocked out, I guarantee you, because he's smart. Mm. He's gonna survive the fight because he's really smart. He's gonna give Canelo a little bit of trouble in the first round, but then once Canelo feels that he can't get hurt, come on, Canelo's been hit by the heaviest hitter in boxing, Triple G, and never got hurt. He got hit by Bivol, never got hurt. At 175 pounds.
His view was cold, yet truthful. Crawford wouldn't lose his crown at 154, but he also wouldn't claim Canelo's. He'd survive, but survival isn't victory, it's just proof of his skill. Diaz reminded fans that Canelo has faced the heaviest hitters without ever crumbling, making this climb look riskier. That's why his conclusion struck like a warning. This fight may give Crawford money, perhaps respect, but not the throne. For Diaz, the result is already written. Canelo keeps his era while Crawford leaves only with the paycheck. Fernando Vargas Jr.'s comments carried weight because he wasn't just a fan. He had been in the ring, felt the sharpness, and noticed details others missed. That's why when he spoke about Crawford and Canelo, people paid close attention.
Crawford's the best skilled fighter ever. Canelo has power, he's on his decline. It's interesting because Canelo, doesn't throw as many punches as he used to. They say he's on his decline. Crawford, he's a very skillful fighter, very smart. I've actually had the opportunity to spar with him.
And he pointed out the contrast between Canelo's fading output and Crawford's sharp technique. Vargas didn't speak only as an onlooker, he spoke as someone who had experienced Crawford's timing and craft in sparring, making his words hit harder because they came from the ring itself. It gave the debate a new layer, turning skill versus power into the real headline. For Vargas, the fight starts with Crawford's talent meeting Canelo's decline. As the conversation deepened, Vargas shifted from raw ability to how the fight might actually play out. He broke it down round by round, offering fans a picture of what could unfold. His explanation made the matchup resemble a chess match with a brutal ending.
In the early rounds, I feel he could catch him with shots. Maybe Canelo will get frustrated by picking him up the way Canelo always gets frustrated. But I just feel Canelo will find him out. I think in the 8th, 9th, 10th round, the championship rounds, I believe he could stop him or if not get him out of there. I just think it's the weight, bro.
He recognized Crawford's sharpness early, picturing a frustrated Canelo swinging to find rhythm. But he saw the tide turn once the fight reached the later rounds. For Vargas, those rounds belonged to Canelo, where size and pressure would tip the scales. His breakdown gave the fight a chilling inevitability: one man starts fast, but the other finishes stronger. It was his way of showing that weight, not skill, could dictate the conclusion. Then Vargas raised the question no fan could avoid: the power factor. It wasn't only about landing shots, it was about surviving them. And that's where his words cut deepest.
Can Crawford take Canelo's best punch? If he could do that, and he has to fight a perfect game plan, like Benavidez's dad said, it's gonna be a Tom and Jerry type of fight, which I feel it'll be a Tom and Jerry fight if Crawford wins. If he sits there and wants to, exchange with Canelo, I feel that's not the right game plan. But I feel both know everything's on the line. Pride, your country behind you.
He asked whether Crawford could withstand Canelo's hardest punch, framing the bout around survival more than scoring. His words painted two possible fights, either a Tom and Jerry chase with Crawford dancing to victory, or a slugfest that ends badly. Vargas made clear that the wrong approach could cost everything. It wasn't just about talent, it was about pride, country, and the weight of expectations. To him, Crawford's chin and tactics would decide the night. Vargas tied it all together, looking ahead to fight night with respect mixed with cold realism. He didn't dismiss Crawford's greatness, but he didn't sugarcoat the risk either. His conclusion sounded like someone who had seen too many fights end the hard way.
Both fighters are going to be in the best shape of their life, and regardless of what the critics have to say, we're going to see September 13th what happens. I feel Canelo's going to be a little too much for Crawford, but and I see Canelo pulling it through, but this is boxing and things can happen. So we're in for a great.
He respected both men, saying they'd arrive in peak condition. But beneath the respect was hard truth, he still leaned toward Canelo being too much for Crawford. Vargas left room for boxing's unpredictability, yet his tone suggested a clear favorite. His take made the matchup feel less like a 50-50 and more like a steep climb against Crawford. For Vargas, September 13th won't just be a fight, it'll be a test of limits. With Canelo still standing on top, even Andy Lee weighed in, though he avoided picking sides quickly. Instead, he paused, weighing skill on both ends against the undeniable reality of size. His words reflected the voice of a man who's witnessed too many great battles to call them early.
Very hard to pick a winner, isn't it? Very hard to pick a winner because, like every good fight, no one really knows the skill and competitiveness and ring craft of Crawford, or you can say the same things about Canelo, but just he has that side.
He spoke about how both fighters bring ring IQ and technique, but the question of size never goes away. Lee emphasized that Crawford's skill is unquestionable, yet Canelo's natural build shifts the balance. This wasn't dismissal, it was recognition of razor-thin margins. For him, the fight isn't about who's good enough, but about who can apply their weapons at the right time. That's why he described the contest as razor-close but brutally uncertain. Then Lee pointed out something many overlooked: Crawford's physical change. He noticed how different Crawford looked up close, more filled out, stronger. That detail gave new life to the size debate.
But I see Crawford in New York when Hamza fought Berlanga, and he doesn't look too small anymore. He's filled out a lot, looked quite big. It's a great fight. I think they're equally matched in skill, and it's going to be one of the best fights.
To him, Crawford no longer appeared the smaller man, at least not as people thought. Lee argued the fight wasn't just power versus skill anymore, but skill versus skill on level ground. He believed both men carried equal talent, making the contest far more dangerous. That shifted the talk from mismatch to showdown between equals. Lee's view gave fans hope that Crawford had grown into the test. As the discussion continued, Lee grew poetic about the matchup itself. He didn't see just a fight, he saw history in the making. His excitement revealed how much this bout could mean for boxing.
Like when you see how skillful both fighters are, the tricks they have, and how they fight, it should be one of the best fights of the last, I don't know how many years. It should be up there with the best fights we can remember.
Lee highlighted the mastery both bring, their tricks, timing, and craft inside the ropes. For him, this wasn't another big card. It had the potential to be a timeless classic. He envisioned it standing beside the greatest fights remembered across generations. His words raised expectations, framing this not just as Crawford versus Canelo, but boxing at its peak. That belief added weight to why fans cannot miss it. Yet Lee circled back to the technical side, warning how weight really matters. He spoke from his own career, questioning the belief that trimming down makes fighters sharper. His words gave the size debate more edge.
You know, people say all that, and you know, when heavyweights try to lose weight, heavyweights slim down so they can be more, so they can move more. I don't think you lose the weight. I don't think you can move. I think you can get moved a lot easier. Weight's good. Weight's good. Like, that's why everyone's trying to get an advantage. You'll be stronger. You'll just have more of everything. I don't think it's going to affect Crawford's weight.
He explained that cutting weight rarely gives the advantage people assume. It can make a fighter easier to control. Lee emphasized that natural strength matters more than the numbers on a scale. This spotlighted how Canelo's size could become his most dangerous weapon. It wasn't dismissing Crawford, it was exposing the risks of moving up. For Lee, weight isn't just digits. It's the force behind every strike. He then shifted to Canelo himself, reminding fans of everything he brings beyond size. Lee refused to let anyone forget the complete fighter Canelo remains. This gave balance to the debate, restoring respect where doubt crept in.
Yeah, great jab, skillful body puncher, counter puncher, and whatever about, people kind of, I don't know, people are not giving him the respect because of his last performance, but trust me, he'll turn up, and he's a competitor too. You know, that's the great thing about these guys. They're winners, and I can't wait to see that fight.
Lee praised Canelo's skill set, his body attacks, his counters, his competitive fire. He argued that critics undervalue him because of one-off night, a mistake that could cost Crawford badly. For Lee, Canelo remains the same dangerous champion, always delivering when it counts. His view reframed the fight, showing it's not only about size but about two born winners colliding. That reminder cemented why this matchup feels destined for fireworks. Andy Ruiz entered with blunt honesty, warning how dangerous this step might be for Crawford. Speaking as someone who's lived through doubts and shocked the world himself, his words carried heavy weight.
It's gonna be tough, man. I was telling Ellie, step back. I don't know. It might be hard for Crawford since it's gonna be his first time fighting at 168, right? At 168. Right. We don't know how he's gonna move. I don't know if he's gonna be that fast. I don't know if he's gonna be able to handle his pressure, because Canelo's really good at pressuring, coming forward, slipping, countering. But nobody believed in me when I was gonna fight Anthony Joshua that I was gonna win. So anything could happen, especially in this sport of boxing.
Ruiz emphasized that moving to 168 brings many unknowns. Will Crawford keep his speed? Can he manage the weight? And can he withstand Canelo's non-stop pressure? He laid it out clearly, showing the risk. Yet he reminded fans that in boxing, anything can happen, just as in his upset of Anthony Joshua. That personal story made his point stronger, proving unpredictability always lurks. For Ruiz, Crawford enters danger but still has a chance to flip the script. And Ruiz didn't stop at risks. He broke down how the fight could unfold, giving both men their path to win. His analysis felt balanced, pulling fans to the edge.
Canelo, it's crazy because he could win by a knockout, and Crawford could probably win by moving around and making the fight a little difficult for Canelo. But like I said, anything could happen.
He explained that Canelo has the power to finish it with one shot. Crawford, meanwhile, could win through movement and ring control, making the contrast sharp. One destroys, the other frustrates. Ruiz stressed that this clash of styles makes the fight unpredictable to the final bell. It wasn't about picking sides, but showing danger from both ends. That's what gave his words the tone of warning and prediction together. Ruiz closed by reminding why Canelo is feared in the ring. He cut through game plans with one cold truth: the moment you're hit, everything changes.
And the countering that he does, he's really slick inside that ring. Everybody has a plan until they get in there, until they get hit, like Mike Tyson would always say. But like I said, anything could happen.
He underlined Canelo's pressure, slick counters, and ability to break foes once his punches land. Ruiz tied it to Mike Tyson's famous line, "Everyone has a plan until they're punched in the mouth," applying it perfectly to this bout. His words showed that strategy alone may not save Crawford if Canelo starts connecting. It wasn't just theory, it was lived reality. For Ruiz, Canelo's pressure is the tool that can erase every plan Crawford brings. Few voices hold weight like Amir Khan's, since he's faced both men. That experience gives him perspective no analyst can match, and when he spoke, people listened.
For both the guys, you know what I mean? I'm probably the only guy in the world to fight both of them. Good fight, man. I mean, I lean more towards Crawford. Crawford, I think, is the better fighter, better boxer. Easy to hit. Canelo.
Khan leaned toward Crawford, praising his ring IQ and skills while noting how hittable Canelo can be. It wasn't casual opinion, it came from fighting both. His words suggested that purely in boxing, Crawford holds sharper tools. It was rare insight from someone who's felt both fighters' power and speed. For Khan, this wasn't theory, it was earned knowledge. And he didn't stop at skills. He dug into physical factors, highlighting Crawford's preparation and showing the size issue might not be one-sided. His words injected new confidence into Crawford's chances.
Still has that power, but I just feel like Crawford has his number. Let's hope. Well, I've been watching videos and I spoke to the team. They've said that Crawford's put on the muscle well, and he's holding the weight well. I mean, I think he was like 186 the other day or something, and looks strong.
He explained that Crawford has been adding muscle and handling weight smoothly. For Khan, this wasn't forced, it was natural growth, with Crawford holding power. He even pointed to Crawford's camp physique, stressing how strong, lean, and solid he looked. That shifted the story from concern to readiness. For Khan, Crawford isn't undersized, he's built for this fight. Ultimately, this fight is bigger than belts or records. It's about legacy, risk, and the drama boxing always delivers. Canelo brings power, experience, and the aura of the sport's face. Crawford brings skill, sharpness, and hunger to defy odds. However it ends, the matchup already feels historic. Canelo's size and pressure will always pose danger, but Crawford's IQ and adaptability make it risky to count him out. It's one of those fights where both results feel possible, that's what makes it electric. But what about you? Will Crawford's brilliance shock the world, or will Canelo's power and experience prove overwhelming? Does it end in a stoppage, or go the distance? And most of all, who really takes the crown? Share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Knockout Voyage for more amazing boxing content. Stay tuned for the next big fight.